So here we have our first laminated beam. As you can see, this is the bottom side up. We've got it on the ground right now because we're installing the plates for the screw jacks. But none of our wood is the same width or the same depth or, anything. It's pretty cupped and bowed, so there's some gaps. But on the top side, everything is tight and flush, so at least it's good to go up that way. We'll have to take this draw knife here and, mortise out to set the seats on the plates better so that they're at least level, but that shouldn't be too hard. So you can see what we did was we went ahead and took 3 individual 2x12s, applied some construction adhesive between them, and then nailed them together with some 40-penny nails. Here's a 40-penny nail for you, just to give you an idea about what kind of spike you're putting through. You're actually going to need to pre-drill those unless you want to split your wood, which we did the first time around. But what we did to help with stability is we made sure that none of the joints lined up in any of our laminations all the way through. There's at least 16 inches between each of the laminations and each of the butt joints in the lamination, so that you don't get too much wiggle in this beam at all, and that'll even get tighter as the construction adhesive cures more. And here's our big screw jack here, the Ellis screw jacks. The bottom base plate attaches to the piers, and then the top plate will attach to the beam. And here's one that's apart. You can see this is a pretty hefty screw jack here. I mean, it's a 1.5 1/4-inch wide Acme screw, and then the adjuster plate actually turns the screw, and both of the plates there are stationary on both the pier and the beam. We'll be installing these about midway up the beam, so that if the piers shift during frost heave, each of the individual piers and jacks can be moved independently up or down a couple inches, however it is required to level everything out again. And we originally planned on installing the plates. We were just going to set bolts into the concrete when it was curing. Unfortunately, their G-Man decided to use some pretty more hefty-duty bolts. He was afraid that they were going to pull out of the concrete. So we got these rolling bolts, which have a anchor sleeve on them. But unfortunately, what that means is that we have to drill out into some pretty substantial concrete, tiny little 8-inch hole there. And this one, I'd say, is about 1/3 of an inch shy, and it's already sucked out 2.5 of our battery packs on our drill. So right now G-Man's going out and he's checking with our neighbors to see if anybody has either a power drill that we can hook up to our generator, or if they have an impact drill, that would be even better, because an impact drill would make short work of this concrete. But anyway, once we somehow get the 16 holes drilled to get those jacks into the concrete, then we can go ahead and put the beam in place, and that should be fine. Once that one's in place, we're going to temporarily attach the 16-foot joists here to determine that we've got those piers in the right place, as well as everything squared up.